Well, we are halfway through episode 50. Wow, that's a lot of show. And also a lot of this show. And also, I can't believe we're only halfway through. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. But I don't know that I fully understood how large an undertaking this was. You'd think I would have, because it was a lot of work when we did it 10 years ago. But I'm not smart. I'm smart. I'm smart. Check out my Patreon for extended and bonus episodes, as well as lots of other fun stuff that I do just with my patrons. And I've got a great guest at the halfway mark. My name is Ashley Clements.
My name is Mary Kate Wiles.
And you're watching the Look Back Diaries.
Looking back. We're looking back. Hey.
Yay! Thanks for joining us again.
Yeah.
This is like a nice this whole chunk of time, because we are about, at the end of this arc, we will lose Lydia for a while in the main story, and she will obviously have her own. But it's nice that we did get a lot of good sister stuff.
Yeah, this is a nice little stretch for Lizzy and Lydia, which is nice because it's gonna get bad.
It's gonna get bad, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We sure are. Let's enjoy the nice while we've got it.
Yeah, but through the Collins arc, through the Wickham arc, there has been, a real camaraderie. Less friction between the two, Lizzy and Lydia.
Yeah.
And more of, there've been small kind of sisterly fights that just feel like little sisterly fights. And I think they feel kind of, authentic and not something that I think makes either of them, over the top bad.
No, just sister stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think the worst thing you've done is hack into Lizzie's email, but
in an effort to be helpful.
Right. But that's kind of a little sister reading a diary thing. It's a boundary violation, but it's something that very commonly happens and is a learning experience for sisters to say, hey, no, don't do that. Exactly. And we can see how clearly it comes as well from a desire to connect.
Sure does.
And I think there are some cute moments of connection. Not sure if it's going to happen in this episode.
We'll see, I guess.
You want to find out?
Yeah, let's find out. Cute top.
Thank you. It's anthropology.
Wow.
She shocks you.
So, Charlotte hasn't been in this whole stretch, huh?
No. Charlotte left after episode 42, and I guess it's probably the next episode that next one I'm going to Collins and Collins. This is the end of this arc that I'm sort of calling the Wickham arc, but he's actually not in that much of it, because it's also it's the Snickerdoodles arc. There's a lot.
Lots going on.
Lots going on.
Oh yeah, this
episode.
Yeah,
this is cute.
Yeah, this is just a lot of Lydia being a cute little younger sister in this whole stretch.
Just a cute little bean. Yeah. I love that your offer is comfort and revenge.
That feels like a very Rachel Kiley thing.
Yeah, it sure does.
Making a splash in Meriton.
I like how you've come in to be like, you also got dumped on Twitter.
Happy to cover all the bases.
Wait, is this a Rachel Kiley episode? No, this is a Margaret episode. That makes more sense. I was like a G at the end of a present participle joke feels like Margaret.
Just associating Rachel with everything Lydia does.
Well, and everyone, kind of influenced each other and.
Yeah, they all right? Am I wrong? They had their own episodes, but they would talk about stuff.
Yeah, no, they broke story together, and and Margaret did a rewrite on all of them as a unifying path. So.
Bye.
But also just such cute energy. Yeah, chocolate. I remember because we had to do multiple takes of this, so we had to like keep breaking the bar and turning it over so that it looked like a fresh bar.
I think I honestly am fine about the whole George thing, though. I'm not.
But yeah, clearly earlier in the day because I'm
Because your hair
dry,
looks great.
you were dry, and the chocolate is not melted.
Yeah.
None of that. Is that weird? Should I be more bothered by a guy?
Oh yeah, and then the little L continues to live.
Aw.
So cool.
That Laura made and that Jane made.
Hey, Charlotte.
Ooh.
Oh, you saw, yeah. No, Jane's okay. I mean, she's not okay, but she'll be down there soon enough.
Just what a coincidence that she called right when I was filming. It worked out so
What
perfectly.
a coincidence.
It's fantastic.
Well, I know. Me too.
Look at this acting.
So Thank you, because I am 100% talking to myself. There is no one even feeding me lines. That is.
Universe, I can take a hint. Hey, Lydia, are you lurking out there?
I do not lurk.
You do so.
My room is right across the hall. Your voice carries.
Whatever. You want to go to the music festival with me?
Oh, a little sister date?
My baby sister?
So suspicious.
I'm leaving too.
Just for a little while.
Where are you going? Meriton by any chance?
No. Charlotte invited me to go visit her before school starts, and I'm gonna go do it.
But I thought you were mad at Charlotte.
Well, maybe it's time for me to move on.
That's an interesting moment.
While you're gone, can I run your video blogs?
Make your
Like,
own videos.
Are you actually?
Well,
and we knew at this point that you would.
That I would.
See you soon, Charlotte.
But I wonder if there's anything in the kind of I thought you were mad at Charlotte of like, no, I'm supposed to be like the replacement, like I'm the new favorite.
Right.
I don't know. I don't mean to assign any malicious intent to Lydia, who's clearly here. I mean, it's a very cute. She tried something else when Charlotte left, and now she's changed tactics, and she's actually trying a little bit more like what Jane did. But then Jane left, so now she's like, okay, I've like,
yep, here I am.
And then the Lydia of it, of like, and plot revenge, which look, that is absolutely who you want to be there for you in a breakup.
That's true. That is true. Yeah, it is nice. So this has been a nice time for Lizzy and Lydia, which is fun.
Well, and of course, we also had to emphasize that Lizzie's not that broken up about Wickham, because it would be out of character for Lydia to like go after a guy that her sister was in love with. That doesn't feel.
But also, it just like makes sense because you're like, yeah, like Lizzie's gonna realize.
Yeah, obviously that wasn't like she's looking for a meeting of the minds, and that's not gonna offer you.
Yeah.
The hormones only take you so far.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, oh, you made me dumb in my brain, but you dumb in your brain. I mean, it's interesting, right? There are ways in which Wickham is very smart because he's very manipulative, but he's not an intellectual.
Right.
And that is something that Lizzie would need.
Yeah.
Because she's a snob.
No, she's just a smarty pants.
She's a smarty pants
and another smarty pants.
And yeah, exactly. But like it would never feel like a real partnership if somebody didn't meet her on that level. So
yeah, for sure. Lizzy and Wickham never seem to make much sense. So
well, Lydia and Wickham don't make sense in the long run either.
Certainly not. So. But you can see how Lydia is attracted for sure.
Well, you can see why she's attracted to him. But then, yes, you can see, especially after the events that are going to happen over the holidays. We'll get to that.
So much to happen still.
So much to happen. I know. I mean, this is episode 50. Oh, we made it to episode 50.
We're halfway through. Crazy. The show is so big.
And thanks so much for being here again. We'll see you for the holidays, I guess, because I'm off to Collins and Collins.
Have fun at Collins and Collins. I'll miss you.
I'll miss you too. And then we'll get into the drama.
Oh, I can't wait. Drama.
You know, halfway through, you'd think I'd know what I was doing, but I forgot to look at the comments. So let's look at the comments. Just us here now. What do we got? Cassidy Parker Knight says, I know Jane is your go-to sister. She brings in all the chocolate and Kleenex she can carry and clinging to Lizzie's shoulders. Aw, Lydia is breaking my heart. It's very cute. This fine lady says Lizzie wasn't even dismissive in this episode. That's sort of damning praise, isn't it? Emily Brock says Lydia was so sweet in this episode. I've been preparing for this moment my whole life. She really does care about her. I know. RS says, I don't know about this. This is a mean thing to say. Lizzie really takes after her mother much more than she'd like to. She makes convoluted plans. She can be ridiculously ambitious when it comes to completing them, and her voice carries. Wow. You know, I was instructed to project. Noelle Haddad says, I love how passionate Lizzie is about Darcy. It doesn't matter what he does. Her reaction is so strong, whereas she doesn't really get excited about George leaving. Plus, hate sounds like the beginning of a love story, not the end of one. Oh, Kia Pet 2, that moment where Lizzie realizes her platonic relationships, Charlotte, Lydia, matter to her far more than some romance ever did. Mila says, I'm not going to sleep until I see Darcy, so he better come quick. Well, I guess she was binge watching. Kimber Kingdon says, can we talk about how sweet Lydia is? As sporadic and crazy as she is, she really loves and cares about her sisters and her family. She has a huge heart and loves complete. Jess Gosson says, Lydia is like a little bunny hopping all over the place. OMG, she's so adorable. Yes, that is accurate. She's precious, and we will miss her. But Lizzie is off to Collins and Collins. We will go to the first real location change. Yeah. 50 episodes, aside from the 2 at VidCon. So 48 episodes filmed all in the same room. Yeah, so halfway through, we're making big changes. We're packing up our bags and we're going to Santa Monica. And we'll get into that next time.